Welcome back. It is the Flow Friday Sports Show on Flow FM. Time to go to North Central Netball to speak with the Association President, Kylie Walsh. Kylie, it is lovely to be back with you. How are you?
You too, Alice. Yes, we were very lucky last weekend to have the first weekend of winter with wet, wintry conditions. So we've been very fortunate to get through that many rounds without wintry weather.
That is fantastic, and I believe you're enjoying some holidays at the moment as well. Always a nice thing in the fierce backdrop of netball taking up so much of your time.
Yeah, it is nice to have a bit of a break and enjoy the school holidays, yeah.
Fantastic. All right, well, let's get into the weekend that was, starting with Charlton and Boort. Big win for Charlton. 41-27, not the biggest win. I made that sound like they absolutely shellacked them, but it was comprehensive enough, wasn't it?
Yeah, and unpredicted by me. And, well, what an impressive performance by Charlton. They've definitely been building up to this game and becoming a force to be reckoned with. This result really solidifies the top four that they really can't afford to relax, and especially those three teams that are just outside those top positions. So Charlton really settled into their combinations and gaining trust in each other's roles on the court and executing their game plan. But Boort faced intense pressure from Charlton. They struggled to find their attacking rhythm throughout, although Kylie Isaac took a long bomb in the goal ring, and that was a standout moment for the Magpies. But Charlton's defensive trio of Megan Bruns, Kate Burton and youngster Isabel Salisbury played a critical role in their victory, locking down the court and limiting Boort's options. So despite the cold, wet, wintry conditions, Charlton didn't falter, and they emerged, as we said, victorious 41-27 over Boort.
Fantastic. All right, we'll move along and talk about Sea Lake Nandali. They dropped some vital points at home to Wedderburn Redbacks, 46-34. If you're going to lose, it might as well be to the Redbacks because we know that they are decent. But Sea Lake Nandali have had a pretty strong season. That's been the narrative for them. Yeah,
that's right. And look, I'm sure Wedderburn's strategy of fast pace certainly paid off with that victory over the Tigers. And it sounds like all four goals from both ends were really focused and efficient right from the start. But Nikki Lockhart played her critical role feeding Holly Lockhart, who again excelled as the goalkeeper once again. The Tigers seemed to manage to stay competitive for the first half, but Wedderburn's ability to capitalise turnovers, particularly in that third quarter, seemed to make a significant difference. But Meg Lowry's pivotal role from the centre, and she really dictated her play, challenging the Tigers' defence, and that must have been instrumental maintaining Wedderburn's momentum. So despite the Tigers' efforts to pull back the score in that fourth quarter, Wedderburn proved too strong in their second meeting between these two teams and secured the victory 46-34.
Entertaining game between Donald and Birchip, 10 goals separating both. 40 was the final score posted by Donald to Birchip's 50. What do you make of that game?
Yeah, well, Alice, the Bulls certainly got the Willy Wonka golden skip this one to play in the stadium. That was certainly a relief from the wintry conditions. But Donald certainly kept the pressure throughout the game, the first half challenging the Bulls to establish a clear lead. But the Bulls seemed to incorporate their feedback post some high-level mentoring they had last week, and they obviously took on board some feedback and really did some uncharacteristic experimenting through their mid-court combinations and utilised the rolling subs. But Jenna Angel's consistent performance in the goals was certainly critical, and she's maintaining her focus and scoring effectively for the Bulls, and her strong season continues. But Donald's goal has faced a challenge, and they managed to navigate through the game, and that speaks volumes for their mindset under pressure, despite the formidable defence efforts of the Bulls. And as you said, they scored a 10-goal victory over Donald, but I'm sure they would have been relieved. That was a really competitive game. So the 50-40 reflects the hard-fought win for Birchip Watcham.
We also had St Arnaud and Witcherproof going at it, 56-32 in favour of St Arnaud. Kylie?
And what a fantastic win for the Saints. They certainly showed they had consistency across all four quarters, and that paid off for them. It was great to hear about the combinations of the young players, particularly Witcherproof Naraport's Ruby Eisen. She stepped up and fitted in well into the goals. However, Tanana's effective teamwork combinations, especially between Hayley Livingston and Georgia Taylor, they made a significant impact on the game for the Saints. Despite the Demons' efforts to disrupt Tanana's flow in various combinations, the Saints really maintained their effectiveness across the court in this game. And that was their first win for the season, so congratulations, and that's a huge boost to their confidence, having that victory, like you said, 56-32 over Witcherproof Narraport.
Tell us how things are going to go as far far as the top 6 placements, the final standings, because it's so interesting at the moment.
Yeah.
Between, the top 7, really. You've got a pretty tightly placed ladder aside from the top 2, really. So how do you see it progressing from here? Who do you think is going to lock in those 6 spots?
Well, yeah, I was really sitting on Netball Connect watching the live scores last weekend because I really thought if there was 3 upsets, if Charlton, Donald and Sea Lake Nandelli Tigers had won, that would have thrown a cat amongst the pigeons with the placings from 1 to 7, because it would have put those 3 that are outside the 4 at the moment, that would have really put them in hunt of the top 4. So it's really interesting, and with Charlton beating Bort, that's top Bort down to second. So, yeah, it's still really competitive, which is wonderful. So a couple more upsets will rattle the cage.
All right, well, let's take a look now at the weekend's games. Give us your predictions, Kylie.
Okay, so we have Wedderburn hosting Charlton this weekend, and what a difference these two teams have shown from their first meeting in round 3. Both Wedderburn and Charlton have adjusted their combinations significantly. And over the past few rounds, they've really honed in on their strategies and building self-belief and capability as on court. So this is really going to be intriguing to see whether Charlton can maintain their momentum gained from last week. And they're really in a different headspace now and filled with confidence compared to their previous encounter against Wedderburn. So this newfound confidence will surely pose a challenge for Wedderburn for this up-and-coming game. We have Witchproof Narraport hosting Sea Lake Nandelli Tigers. The Tigers will be eager to secure a win over the Demons, particularly over their recent close games at which they've lost. So a win for them will boost their confidence. And I think similar to their previous encounter, the Tigers will be once again too strong for Witchproof Narraport. Birch of Watcham host Tanana. So despite Tanana finding a stride over the last few weeks and securing their first win last weekend, I've no doubt the Saints will be determined to have a strong performance for all 4 quarters. But I think considering the Bulls' confidence in their squad and their combinations they've recently tested, they'll prove too strong for the Saints. And this is a great game ahead, Alice. Nullarbor are hosting Donald. So as we spoke, there's a lot of stake between these two teams. So if Donald will need to win to keep them within reach of the top 4, whilst Nullarbor could potentially allow, if they lose, potentially allow Charlton to move into 4th place if they beat Wedderburn. So I'm sure the Maroons will be out cheering the Maroons on the sidelines. And considering Donald's narrow victory over Nullarbor in their round 3 meeting, this promises to be really intriguing. So the dynamics of an outdoor court should play a critical role in shaping the outcome, but it's definitely worth keeping an eye on, and I know I will be. And we have bought for the buy.
And we know that you will be, that's for sure. Before we do let you go, give us a commentary on some developments regarding umpires in recent times.
Yeah, well, we had a couple of young umpires achieve their C-grade badge last weekend, so congratulations to Jessie Fawcett and Tessa Sheed, both from Nullarbor Netball Club. They successfully obtained their C-grade badge, like I mentioned. So it's wonderful to see the continued growth of our NCNA umpires and the value it brings to both our game and club. So thank you again to our NCNA umpires coordinator, Nicole Amos, for our ongoing dedication and support to our umpires and their development. And thank you to the testers and mentors that were there on the day. We always express our gratitude to Better Electrical Sedana for their continued support of our umpires, and it's wonderful to see this continuing to grow.
Very well said. And thank you for your time, Kylie Walsh, North Central Netball Association President. Great to check in and get those updates from you, as it always is. Enjoy the netball coming up over the weekend, and thanks for your time.
Thanks, Alice. You have a great weekend.